Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. You have a story? Go ahead, please,
I
Maria.
do. So the House of Reps Public Accounts Committee has issued a one-week deadline to all private airlines operators in the country to account for the sum of 4 billion naira that was given to them by federal government to tackle COVID-19 pandemic, or refund same in the absence of justifiable evidence of how the amount was spent. So the committee is chaired by a member of PDP from Osun State, and on Friday, they had resumed investigative hearing into alleged mismanagement of COVID-19 intervention funds by MDAs, and the committee is investigating over 56 MDAs for alleged mismanagement of intervention funds. So it's just to say that airlines have been giving 1 week to give them exactly where that money went, how it was spent, and if they can't give that, then refund the amount of money that was given to them.
All right, so I have the story concerning the Nigerian Air Force said on Sunday they had discovered and destroyed 4 illegal crude oil refining sites at Krakama and Terakiri in areas in deltas in the Niger Delta region. Reacting to this, the Niger Delta militant leader, government Tompolo, has expressed worry over the state of the national economy as a result of these thefts. He said we have to guard against greed and saboteurs of the nation's economy. He said that he will strive to ensure the increased daily crude by checking the output and checking the oil theft. Tompolo's company, as we recall, was engaged by federal government to protect the pipelines. So our economy is in dire need of survival, so we cannot fold our hands and allow some people to sabotage the nation's economy because of greed. And if you recall, I think former President Obasanjo said that 80% of our oil is being stolen. Mm-hmm. So what we're getting is really, really minute to come with what we have capacities for. Moving on now to Daily Sun. NIN BVN Bank sent fresh reminders. Why Southeast won't protest against Tinubu, says Omahi. Reps move to strip president, governors' power to proclaim and dissolve assembly. Cooking gas price to crash as NLNG begins sale of LPG in Naira. Abuad law students shine at 2023 bar exam. Serap sues Tinubu over failure to probe missing $3.4 billion IMF loan. Nigeria signs multi-sectoral agreements with Qatar. Nigeria-India trade volume may hit $20 billion over aim by economic city, says investor. Okay, which story?
Serap yesterday said he had filed a lawsuit against the president for failing to probe the $3.4 billion loan that was either missing, diverted, or unaccounted for. And it says that this lawsuit was in line with Section 16 and of the 1999 Constitution. However, a source told the nation that a probe was already in progress. So ICPC has launched a comprehensive investigation into the $3.4 billion loan. It began the probe after it reviewed the report of the Auditor General of the Federation. Investigators are trying to establish if the cash was missing, diverted, or unaccounted for. And then the documents relating to the loans have all been retrieved from the CBN as well. A few people have already been called in, to be quizzed. They said that 2 officials from CBN and 1 from the Accountant General of the Federation have been quizzed over this amount of money. So it is already an ongoing investigation. So it's, even though Serap had taken the case to court, it was, it meant that the investigation has started anyway. So we'll see what happens.
So the House of Reps are looking to amend Section 63, Sub 3, and Section 105, Sub 3 of the 1999 Constitution to remove power from the President to proclaim the House, the National Assembly, into existence, and also dissolve the House or the National Assembly. So one is for the state governors, one is for the President. Let me read this because I see what I
don't understand.
Somebody else will be like that.
Independent
so that section makes it mandatory for a governor or the president to proclaim the House open. And so you see some state governors, like Yapo in the state where I'm from, where governor decides, say, no, they do.
Okay, he's not going to, okay, yes, I remember that.
So they're now trying to move that power to the clerk of the House.
Okay.
So that, there's no such power. I think it's for more autonomy and independence. Okay. But I like the details. It has passed first reading. they're going to second reading, and then there'll be debates on it.
Another interesting law that I heard that is related to this. I can't remember what it is, but there are also some interesting laws these days. So,
yes, I'd like
okay,
to
let me.
Looking into being a lawyer.
Yeah?
Are you looking
a lawyer?
No, I'm not. Please, I am staying on my focus, in my lane. Minister of Works David Umahi said yesterday that the people of the Southeast have no reason to join other regions of the country to protest against the president. According to him, he said the president has resolved to solve the incessant farmer-herders clashes which contributed to the insecurity within that region and stopped and affected food production that caused hunger in the land. He also said that the hardship in the country was cumulative effect of the actions and inactions of previous governments, which the current president has begun to solve and resolve. He averred that Tinubu-led administration favored Southeast greatly because they appointed sons and daughters of the zone to positions of authority. Umar explained that the administration has been doing many projects in the region, and with all these, the area has no justification really to join those protesting against the president over the hardship in the country. So he urged people of the zone not to be lured by any group or region to protest against the president.
Yes, so 2 riot policemen have been beaten to death and 2 others injured by a mob at Ipeshi in Akeredolu local government area of Edo State. Said the victims were identified as Inspector Brownson Brown, Inspector Abubakar Fakuk, Sergeant Taye Ujiefo, and Sergeant Elisha John. And all were attached to Police Mobile Force PMF 19, Port Harcourt in Rivers State. So they said Fakuk and John were lynched to death. Brown and Ujiefo were receiving treatment at Ifelola Hospital, Igara, Akoko-Edo. They said, according to the story, that they have started after the policemen who were on escort duty with the former state lawmaker Emmanuel Agbaje were attacked by a mob for killing a motorcyclist, a woman, and her child with their vehicle. So they said Ipeashu youths, according to the sources, went to the office of Edo State Security Vigilance Network where the policemen were taken and overpowered them, beat 2 of them to death and injured the remaining 2. The 2 injured policemen were now rescued by vigilance members and their service rifles were recovered from them. So they said the chairman, Akoko-Edo Local Government Council, Tajuddin Alade, condemned the mob action, and he have declared the 2 persons involved, or the persons involved, wanted, and they would be identified, arrested, and prosecuted. The Edo Police Public Relations Officer also confirmed the story and said that investigations will be ongoing. Sorry for the people, the policemen who had lost their lives.
So rest in peace. Moving on quickly now to Vanguard. Let's thank the first story of not taking. FG fights inflation, mops up 5 trillion naira. How Oshoba facilitated my emergence as Allah cases of Bagbadebo. Nigeria, Qatar signed agreements on education, solid minerals, and others. COVID-19 probe, refund or account for 4 billion naira, reps tell airlines. Misinformation undermining military's fight against terrorism, says CDS. Only implementation of agreements will stop nationwide strike, says NLC. And Abuja residents break into government warehouse. Okay, which story?
Should I take the same? Okay.
Okay, I wanted to take the one with the ruler, the paramount ruler, the Alake Wegbalan. Do you have that story? Okay, so we recently interviewed him, so I just was attracted to his story. So the ruler of Egbaland, Obadedot Tungbadebo, has revealed how the former governor of Ogun State, Chief Olusegun Oshoba, contributed to his emergence as the traditional ruler of this town. Obagbadebo disclosed this while speaking at the special awards and luncheon, which was activities to mark the 37th annual Lishabi festival held at in Abeokuta. The monarch said that the former governor was the first person to call him to start preparing for the stool because he was going to become the next king after the passing of the former Oba. He said, I want to appreciate the role the Chief Olusegun Oshoba has played, who was the first person to call me to get prepared for the throne after the passage of my predecessor. Okay, any other story in Vanguard?
Yes, I have this happened in Jos, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Chris Musa, who was at the Jos a national convention / retreat on civil society military partnership in mitigating crisis in North Central, organized by the Middle Belt Journalists Forum. This is a retreat that's been held, and they're looking that the results of retreats like this will bring about peace, or different ways, to bring about peace in the North and the Middle Belt areas. During this retreat, the Chief of Defense Staff, who was represented, here said that one of the problems they're having in the military is fake news out in social media. You know, he says that that undermines all the hard work that they're doing. He says we have resolved to be part of a sustainable effort to clear either the misinformation or effects of fake news, especially in social media, which is largely accountable for the wrong perception of the military and the escalations of killings in the region. He says also that we've listened to your complaints and will address them squarely. That's regarding insecurity. The soldiers you see fighting for you are your soldiers. They need your support, especially in the information area. So he was just trying to say that, you know, we should be careful with the sort of news that we put out there and consume. That goes a long way in undermining what the soldiers are doing. These soldiers are ours. He also mentioned that there's a neutrality that soldiers have wherever they are. They are just for Nigerians, plain and simple. And, you know, they need the support of the host communities wherever they are. We also have other stakeholders who were there. I want to take this person particularly, Professor Sampson of the National Defense College. He's saying that something has to be done about the insecurity in the Middle Belt. He said the food basket is empty because of all that's happening around, the attacks, you know, the header-farmer clash, all these things is causing food, you know, the food insecurity that we have as well. So this is something that has to be tackled immediately.
Okay. Then that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.